Hi dear students, welcome to Kavitha's NEET classes. In this lecture, we shall discuss a part of the chapter Human Digestive System. It is a huge chapter, so we shall discuss it in parts in many lectures. So in this first lecture of the Human Digestive System, we shall discuss about an important part of the alimentary canal, that is mouth. First of all, what happens to all the food that we consume? We consume food for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Ultimately, the body is getting nutrients from all of that food. But how is the body capable of utilizing the food which we consume to convert it into nutrients or simpler forms which are necessary to get absorbed into the body? Our human body is not capable of utilizing the food as in how we consume it. So whatever food we consume, be it cereals, pulses, rice, dal, meat, vegetables, fruits, all of these need to be broken down into simpler parts so that the body can absorb the nutrients from that and assimilate it into our body. And that is why digestion plays an important role here. So it is by the process of digestion that the human body breaks down whatever food we consume into simpler forms which the body can utilize to absorb the nutrients and assimilate it. Okay, so what digestion is, that is the breakdown of the food which we consume into simpler forms so that the body can absorb the nutrients from that and assimilate it into our body, which will help us in growth, in development, and also in the repair of the tissues which get worn out due to everyday wear and tear. Fine. So many times when you complain at home that you do not want to have certain foods or vegetables or fruits, most of the time your parents will tell you, you have to definitely eat those foods or you have to definitely make it a part of your diet because it is very essential, because it has a lot of nutrients, right? So what is nutrients? What is nutrition? What does it do to our body? Nutrients are the chemical compounds in the food that are used by the body to function properly and to maintain health, isn't it? So the food which we consume contains nutrients which are essential for our body. So it is these nutrients which help us to grow, and it also helps us to have a healthy body, right? That is why it is very essential to consume nutritious food instead of junk food all the time. So we have two kinds of nutrients. Whatever food we consume, be it rice, dal, chapati, or vegetables or meat or fruits, all the food, be it even chips, cake, or any pizza, pasta, any food which you consume, it is ultimately broken down into proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids, right? So whatever food we consume is ultimately broken down into proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and these are called as macronutrients. So proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are called as macronutrients. Okay. In addition, we also have certain other nutrients which are present in minor quantities. Those are called as micronutrients. So vitamins, minerals, etc. These are the micronutrients. Okay. So nutrients are the chemical compounds which are present in the food. The body absorbs the nutrients and it helps us to grow. It also helps us to have a healthy body, and it also helps in repair of tissues. So whatever food which we consume is ultimately broken down to nutrients. So under nutrients we have macronutrients, which are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So you definitely know what are the protein rich foods, isn't it? So dal, pulses, egg, meat, fish, all these are protein rich foods. Then fats. So whatever vegetable oils, vanaspati, ghee, all these are fat-rich foods. And carbohydrates, under carbohydrates we have rice, wheat, all the major cereals, all of these give us carbohydrates. So all the food which we consume is broken down ultimately into proteins, fats and carbohydrates, and we also have minor quantities of other nutrients like vitamins and minerals, which we classify as micronutrients. So now did you understand what we mean by macronutrients and what we mean by micronutrients? Fine. So what is nutrition? So this is all about nutrients. What do we mean by nutrition? So the process by which we take in food and use that, and our body utilize it for growth, isn't it? The food which we consume, the nutrients present in that help us in growth and metabolism. What do we mean by metabolism? So breakdown of the food is called as metabolism, right here in this context, the breakdown of the food, and finally deriving nutrients from that and the body utilizing those nutrients, that is metabolism. And repair. So nutritional stages, so what are the various nutritional stages are? Ingestion. What is ingestion? Ingestion means the act of taking in food. So we take in food and we feed ourselves, right? That is indigestion. Next is digestion, that is the breakdown of the food, and then absorption. So after the body breaks down the food into simpler forms, the body is capable of absorbing the nutrients from that and transporting it to the necessary organs and necessary regions of the body, and finally it is assimilated, it is utilized by the body for the growth and the health of our body and also for repair of the tissues. So after all this has happened, what happens to the remaining part? After all the nutrients, whatever is needed is absorbed from the food, the remaining food is thrown out of the body in the form of excretion, isn't it? So these are the various stages of nutrition, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, transport, assimilation, and the final act of throwing out the remaining components in the form of excretion. Okay, so now you have a fair idea about what we mean by nutrients and what we mean by nutrition, isn't it? So you can also get a question in your exam regarding the macronutrients and the micronutrients. So which are the macronutrients? You might get a question where you have options of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, and then the question might ask, choose the macronutrients among the list or choose the micronutrients among the list. So then you know which are the macronutrients: proteins, fats and carbohydrates, and which are the micronutrients: vitamins and minerals. Right? Shall we move on? The human digestive system consists of two parts, the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. Human digestive system consists of two parts, the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. Okay, the human digestive system consists of two parts, that is the alimentary canal and the glands which are in association with the alimentary canal. Okay, those we call it as the digestive glands. So what are the parts of the alimentary canal? So alimentary canal, we have mouth. Okay, under the alimentary canal we have mouth, pharynx. Pharynx is also called as the throat, right? Then we have the esophagus. Esophagus is also called as the food pipe. Then we have the stomach. Then we have the small intestine. Then we have the large intestine. So the human digestive system has two parts. The alimentary canal consisting of the mouth, okay, pharynx, which is the throat, this is the esophagus, which is the food pipe, the stomach, the small intestine, this is the small intestine, and the large intestine. So these are the organs coming under the alimentary canal, which include mouth, the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Okay. Then we have another important part of digestive system, that is the digestive glands. So digestive glands are the glands which secrete juices or enzymes, and they are also associated with the organs of the alimentary canal and aid in the process of digestion. These glands are called as digestive glands. So under digestive glands we have salivary glands, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, and so on. Okay. Did you understand the two important parts of the digestive system? The human digestive system consists of two important parts, the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. So alimentary canal consists of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and the large intestine. And we have certain glands which are in association with the alimentary canal, which aid in the process of digestion by secreting juices or enzymes. So about each of these we will be discussing in detail in the upcoming lectures. Okay, so we have digestive glands like salivary glands, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, which come under the digestive glands. Fine. So now you might get a question. So where exactly does digestion begin? Most of the times we have a misconception that digestion actually begins in the stomach. No, that is completely false. Digestion actually begins in the stomach. The moment you put the food inside your stomach, the moment you put your food inside the mouth, the digestion actually begins by the activity of the enzyme called as salivary amylase. Okay, so more about the digestive glands and what are the enzymes which they secrete, each one of them we shall be discussing in the future lectures. As per this lecture, let us concentrate only on one part of alimentary canal, that is mouth. Fine. So these are the organs of the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. First, so as I already told you, digestion actually begins in the mouth. It doesn't begin in the stomach. It begins in the mouth. So this is the first part of the alimentary canal. So we shall discuss about mouth first. So mouth has two parts. One is the vestibule and the second one is the oral cavity. The human mouth has two parts. First one is the vestibule, or we also call it as vestibular region. Either ways it is the same. First is the vestibule and second one is the oral cavity. The oral cavity can also be called as buccal cavity. Can also be called as buccal cavity. Okay, so the mouth has two parts. One is the vestibule. And second one is the oral cavity or buccal cavity. What is the vestibule? See, the space between the inner part of your cheek and the teeth. You have a space, isn't it? That is the vestibule or the vestibular region. Say you take your finger and you insert it in between your cheek and your teeth. That region where exactly your toothbrush penetrates, right? That region from here to here completely, that is the vestibular region. See here, you can see, isn't it? Vestibule of the mouth. So this region where your toothbrush goes when you brush, or if you put your finger inside, in between your inner cheek and your teeth, that entire region from here to here, that is the vestibular region or the vestibule. Okay, so this is the vestibular region. The second region is the oral cavity, that is the inner region of the mouth. The inner region of the mouth is called as the oral cavity or the buccal cavity. Fine, the inner portion of the mouth. So the outer portion of the mouth within your inner cheek and the teeth is the vestibular region, and the inner portion of the mouth consisting of this region, this is the oral cavity or the buccal cavity. Did you understand the two important parts of the mouth? One is the vestibule and the other one is the oral cavity, which we also call it as buccal cavity. Next, moving on to an important organ of the mouth, that is the tongue. Right? Tongue is a muscular organ and this is the shape of the tongue. So there's nothing much to describe about the shape or shape of the tongue as such. So one important thing about the tongue is tongue has many projections, little projections. So whenever you look at your tongue in the mirror, you can find that it is not entirely smooth. There are tiny projections on the tongue, isn't it? That is called as papillae. So the tiny projections in the tongue is called as papillae. What is papillae? Papillae are the tiny or small projections which are present on the surface of the tongue. So when you pull out your tongue and look in the mirror, you can find tiny projections, very small projections. That is called as the papillae. Okay, so we have four different kinds of papillae. First one is the filiform papillae. This is the filiform papillae. These filiform papillae are most commonly found, and you can see that these papillae are thin and wire shaped and they do not have any taste buds. So here you can see these are the filiform papillae which are present in this region, right? So in this region you can find the filiform papillae which are most commonly found, and they are present in the center and the upper surface of the tongue. So in this region you can find the filiform papillae, and though they are most commonly found, they do not have any taste buds as such. Okay, these filiform papillae are found in the center or in the upper stretches of the tongue, and they are most commonly occurring ones, and they are thin and wire shaped, but they do not contain any taste buds. So this is important. Please keep in mind the filiform papillae do not contain any taste buds. Next, moving on to the next one, that is the fungiform papillae. You can find the fungiform papillae in these regions. These are mushroom shaped papillae. So the moment you read something in the shape of fungi using the term fungus or fungi, so you can understand. So it has the shape of a mushroom. So these are mushroom shaped papillae and they have taste buds and they are most numerously found in the tip of the tongue. So in these regions you can find the fungiform papillae. They are mushroom shaped and they have lot of taste buds and they are present in the tip of the tongue. Fine. Next, moving on to the third one, which is the foliate papillae. These are the foliate papillae. You can find here some leaf-shaped structures, isn't it? Here you can see very clearly leaf-shaped structures like this. These are the foliate papillae and they contain taste buds on the sides of the papillae. Here on the sides, they contain the taste buds and they are present along the border of the tongue. Got it? So first filiform and fungiform were found here. Filiform is found at the center and at the upmost stretches, whereas fungiform is found at the tips of the tongues. Okay, and then you can find this foliate papillae are found at the sides of the tongue. They are leaf shaped and they contain taste buds along the sides. Got it? This is foliate papillae. Next, moving on to the next one, that is circumvallate papillae. Circumvallate papillae contains taste buds along the sides of the whorls and they are located in the posterior third of the tongue in the shape of the V. So these are the circumvallate papillae. So they are located in the shape of a V. So they are found, the circumvallate papillae are found towards the posterior side of the tongue and they are around 8 to 12 of them and they contain large number of taste buds. Okay, these are the 4 different papillae. So did you understand the different papillae? First one is the filiform papillae, which is present in the center and in the upper reaches of the tongue, and these do not contain any taste buds. Next, coming to the fungiform papillae, which are mushroom shaped and they are found at the tips of the tongue. Okay, numerous of them you can find at the tips of the tongue and they have taste buds. And then moving on to the foliate papillae, which are leaf shaped. Here you can see on the sides of the tongue you have leaf shaped papillae like this, which contain the taste buds again. Then you have the circumvallate papillae, which are present mostly in the posterior side of the tongue. You can find some 8 to 10 papillae, large ones like this, arranged in the shape of the V. So they contain a large number of taste buds. So these are also containing taste buds and that is called as circumvallate papillae. Fine, did you understand the 4 important papillae of the tongue? So what are papillae? When you check the tongue in a mirror, you can find that there are tiny projections on the tongue. Those tiny projections are called as papillae and we have 4 different papillae. In addition to this, we have taste buds in other regions like the palate as well. Okay, so these 4 papillae of the tongue is important. Keep in mind, at least remember the 4 names of the papillae, that is filiform papillae, foliate papillae, fungiform papillae and circumvallate papillae. So 3 of them begin with the letter F and 1 begins with C. So at least like this you try to remember it and always remember that filiform papillae does not have any taste buds. This can also occur as a question. So they might give you all these 4 papillae in a question as options and they might ask you which papillae does not have taste buds. So then your answer option will be, right answer will be filiform papillae. Got it? Fine. Now that we understood about the taste buds, isn't it? So now you know why we have so many taste buds and why we start craving for food and what exactly are the buds which are involved in giving us the taste of the food whatever we consume. So now moving on to the functions of tongue. So we know tongue is a organ of taste. So we primarily taste the food whatever we consume by the taste buds which are present on the tongue. It also helps us in chewing food, that is in the process of mastication, right? That is chewing of the food and mixing it with the enzymes in our stomach and mixing it with the enzymes in our mouth is the process of mastication. So tongue helps in tasting the food. It also helps in chewing the food. It helps us in swallowing the food, and it also plays a role in speech, isn't it? Have any of you tried talking without utilizing the tongue? It is almost impossible, right? We cannot talk, we cannot produce any meaningful sounds without utilizing our tongue. So that is very important. So tongue is also useful in talking. It plays an important role in speech. Then it also acts as a brush. You know, whenever we want to clean our teeth, sometimes when food gets stuck in between our teeth, we utilize our tongue to clean it, right? So these are the various functions of tongue. Now that we discussed about the vestibular region of the mouth, isn't it? So first we began discussing about the mouth, in which we discussed about the vestibular region, and then we started discussing about the buccal cavity or the oral cavity. So first in that region we discussed about the tongue. So what are papillae and what are the functions of tongue? Now we shall move on to another important component of the oral cavity, that is the teeth, right? So teeth, what are the characteristics of teeth? Teeth is diphyodont. Teeth is diphyodont. What do you mean by diphyodont? We all have two sets of teeth, isn't it? The first set of teeth we get it when we are around 6 months of age, right? The first teeth a baby gets is around the age of 6 months, and it continues until the age of 2 years. So in between 6 months to 24 months, the child gets its first set of teeth, which is called as milk teeth or deciduous teeth. Milk or deciduous teeth. So this is the first set of teeth which we get. Then afterwards, by around the age of 5 or 6 years old, slowly one after the other, the teeth starts falling down and we get a new set of teeth, isn't it? That teeth continues throughout our lifetime, and that teeth, that set of teeth is called as permanent teeth. So, we human beings have two sets of teeth. First one is the milk teeth or the deciduous teeth, which we get between the ages of 6 months to 24 months. Then later, after they fall around the age of 5 or 6 years old, then we get another permanent set of teeth which stays with us for a lifetime. So these two sets of teeth we get. That characteristic of the teeth is called as diphyodont. See here, you can understand di means two, isn't it? So the word diphyodont means two set of teeth. That is an important characteristic of our teeth. Next, moving on to the second character, that is our teeth is thecodont. What do you mean by thecodont? Our teeth are embedded in sockets of our jaw bones. I can show you here in the picture. See, these are our teeth, isn't it? But if this teeth has to get fixed in our jaw, we need sockets like this. Can you see the sockets here? So it is inside these sockets that our teeth goes and gets fixed in. Just like how if we want to plug in any electrical appliance, we have a socket and we take the plug and we plug it in, isn't it? Similarly, here in these sockets, our teeth are plugged in. This nature of the teeth is called as thecodont. Okay, this is a very important topic. You get questions on this many times. So they will give you in answer options, they will say the question is, what are the characteristics of teeth? And they might give you different options, different combinations of diphyodont, thecodont, heterodont and others, and you'll have to choose the right answer. So this is important. Do remember this. First character is diphyodont, which means we have two set of teeth, and second character is thecodont, which means that our teeth are embedded in sockets which are present in the jawbone. So this is our jawbone. In our jawbone, on the inner part, we have sockets where the teeth is embedded. That nature is called as thecodont. Next, moving on to the third characteristic, that is heterodont. What is heterodont? We have different types of teeth, right? If you check your teeth, not all the teeth are similar in nature. We have 4 different types of teeth. That nature of the teeth is called as heterodont. Got it? So these 3 important characteristics of the teeth are very important. Human teeth are diphyodont, which means we have 2 sets of teeth. One is the milk teeth and the second one is the permanent teeth. Next is the thecodont, which means our teeth are embedded in sockets which are present in the jawbone. That nature of teeth is called thecodont. And the third one is heterodont. Heterodont means we have different types of teeth, right? We have incisors, we have canines, we have premolars, we have molars. So we have different kinds of teeth, different types of teeth. That nature of teeth is called as heterodont. So we know what's the meaning of hetero, anything beginning with hetero means different, right? So can you remember these 3 important characteristics? Thecodont, diphyodont and heterodont. Please do not forget this. At least make a short form like DTH. We all can remember DTH very easily, right? We all have DTH connection in our homes. So you can remember like this. D stands for diphyodont, T stands for thecodont and H stands for heterodont. So if you remember this short form, you will never forget it. So I already told you we have different types of teeth, isn't it? That is why we call the teeth as heterodont, because we have different types of teeth. So what are the different types of teeth we have? One is the incisors. So incisors are the teeth which are in the front, right? So if we have to bite something, if you have to take some food and bite it first, you take the first bite using your incisors. Then we have the canines. So canines are the ones which are present next to the incisors. They are sharp. So if you want to pull or chew on some meat, so mostly you will be using the canines. Then we have immediately after the canines, we have a set of teeth called as the premolars. And then finally towards the end, over here you have the molars. Got it? So we have 4 kinds of teeth, that is incisor, canine, premolar and molar. How many of them we have? What is the dental formula? We shall discuss now. So here you can see these are the incisors. So these 4 teeth over here, right? These 4 teeth are the incisors which you use for cutting the food. And these are the canines. Here you can see there's 1 canine here and 1 canine here. Again, canines are also utilized to bite the food, to pull over the food. And then we have here you can see 2 teeth on either side. These are the premolars. Okay. Then beyond that we have another set of teeth called as the molars. So we have 3 over here. So both the premolars and the molars are used for breaking down the food into tiny fragments. Okay, mostly we use the incisors and the canines to bite the food, and we utilize the premolars and the molars to break down the food into tiny fragments. Got it? So we have 4 different kinds of teeth. They are the incisors, canine, premolar and molar. So now speaking about the dental formula. Dental formula. What do you mean by dental formula? See here. Suppose you divide the mouth laterally like this. Okay. What you get over here? You get 2 incisors, right? Then you get 1 canine. So these are the 2 incisors. then you have 1 canine, and then you have 2 premolars. Here 2 premolars, 2, and then here you have 3 molars, isn't it? 3. So on the upper half of the jaw, right? So when you divide your mouth longitudinally like this, on one side in the upper half of the jaw, you have 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. So that is written as 2, 1, 2, 3. Similarly, on the lower half of the jaw, again you have 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and molars. That we write it like this, 2, 1, 2, 3 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3. This is called as the dental formula. So 2, 1, 2, 3 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3 is the dental formula in adults. So dental formula gives only half the number of teeth that is present in our mouth. So this, if we add it or if we double it, we will get the total number of teeth in our mouth. Right? So let's do that now. So when we divide our mouth longitudinally, on the upper half we have 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. Again in the lower half of the mouth we have again 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. So in one half of the mouth, how many teeth do we have? It is 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 plus 8, 16. 16 teeth we have in one half of the mouth. So together 16 plus 16 gives us 32 teeth. So in a human adult, the total number of teeth which we have is 32. Did you get it? This is the dental formula, that is 2, 1, 2, 3 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3. So what about the dental formula in kids? How many teeth do the kids have or children have? We shall discuss that as well. So here you can see this is the number of teeth that is present in a baby, right? That is the milk teeth or the deciduous teeth. When we speak about adults, we are speaking about the permanent teeth, and when we say kids or children, it is not children who are above the age of 5, 6 in whom the teeth have already started falling. No, these are the babies, that is the baby which has the complete set of milk teeth or deciduous teeth. So here you can see that in the baby they have in one half of the, so again here when you divide the mouth longitudinally, in one half, in the upper half you have 2 incisors, right? Here you can see we have 2 incisors, then we have 1 canine, then we have 2 molars. You must always remember that in children we do not have premolars. This also has appeared as a question previously. So they will give you a set of options and ask you a question, say a child is so many years old and which set of teeth will you expect that the child does not have. So children do not have premolars, they have only incisors, canines and molars. So please do not forget this, children do not have premolars. So here you can see that the child has 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molar in the upper half. So when you divide the mouth like this, you can see that in the upper half, in one half on the upper jaw, it will have 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molars. Similarly, on the lower half you can see here we have 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molars, right? So we will again write it as 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molars, and this is the dental formula in children. Okay, so whenever they ask you what is the dental formula of an adult, it will be 2, 1, 2, 3 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3. That is 2 incisor, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. Whereas in children, it is 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molars. Kids do not have premolars. Keep this in mind always. So what is the total number of teeth here in a child who have milk teeth? So here we know we have 2 incisors, 1 canine and 2 molars, isn't it? 2, 1, 2. So totally in one half here you have 5 teeth, right? So similarly in the lower half you have 5 teeth. So totally on one side they have 10 teeth. So 10 plus 10 on both sides gives 20 teeth. So total number of teeth in children is 20, whereas in adults it is 32. Okay, please do not forget these numbers. In child, the dental formula is 212 divided by 212, and the total number of teeth here in children is 20. In adults, it is, the dental formula is 2123 divided by 2123, and the total number of teeth here is 32. And here always keep this in mind, children do not have premolars. Children do not have premolars. Always keep this in mind. Keep the dental formula, the number of teeth in mind. Do not forget it. And also always remember that children do not have premolars. Okay. Then out of 12 teeth in adults, okay, 8 premolars and 4 molars grow only once in a lifetime. Let me go back to the other previous slide. Here you can see that out of the 12 teeth, that is 8 premolars and 4 molars. Okay, so these premolars and molars, so totally 8 premolars and 4 molars. And 4 molars grow only once in the lifetime of an individual, and this character is called as monophyodont. Can you remember this term? Earlier we discussed diphyodont. What is the meaning of diphyodont? Diphyodont means we have 2 sets of teeth, that is milk teeth and permanent teeth. Then we discussed thecodont, which means teeth are embedded in sockets which are present in the jawbone. Then we also discussed heterodont. Heterodont means we have different types of teeth, that is incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Now here you can find that in adults 8 premolars and 4 molars, that is totally 12 teeth occur only once in the lifetime of an individual. That is why this character is called as monophyodont. Mono means single, isn't it? Remember it like this. Mono means single. So it occurs only once in the lifetime. That is why this character is called as monophyodont. Fine. Please do not get confused between diphyodont, thecodont, heterodont and monophyodont. Now moving on to the structure of the teeth. So this is a picture of a tooth. It basically has 2 regions, the crown and the root. So crown is the upper region of the tooth which is visible to us, isn't it? The white portion which we can see, which is above the gums, that is this part which we can see, which comes above the gums, is the crown. And there is a part of the teeth which is embedded in the socket and which is covered by our gums. That is the root. Okay, so the teeth has crown and the root. Further, the teeth has four important regions: the enamel, dentin, pulp and the cementum. These are the four important regions of the tooth. First one is the enamel. Enamel is a hard calcified tissue. Okay. Enamel, this region which you can see here, this is the enamel. Enamel is a hard calcified tissue. Actually, enamel is the hardest tissue in the human body. So that has also occurred as a question many times. Which is the hardest part of the human body? And they will give you different options. And the hardest tissue is enamel. So enamel is the right option. So it is a hard calcified tissue which covers this dentin region of the crown. This is the dentin region, which you can see here. This is the dentin. So dentin is covered by the enamel, and enamel does not contain any living cells, and that is why once your enamel gets eroded, so usually after certain age, after 30-40 years of age, the enamel gets eroded, and after that it is not possible for the enamel to regenerate by itself because it does not contain any living cells. So under those conditions we'll have to consult a dentist, and they will give us certain treatment options for that. Okay, so enamel is the outermost, most protective layer of the teeth which covers the dentin. Next, moving on to dentin. So as I already told you, this is the dentin. This region here is the dentin, which is present immediately after the enamel. So just below the enamel we have the dentin, and it contains microscopic tubules and canals. And what happens when we lose our enamel covering? So enamel is exactly not white in color, it is slightly yellowish in color. So after certain years, because of wear and tear, when we lose enamel, when the enamel layer or the enamel coating on our teeth gets eroded, what happens is we start feeling sensitivity. Whenever we take ice cream or juices or hot or cold liquids or even citrus fruits, we start getting a sensitive feeling in our teeth and we cannot consume that food anymore. So that happens because the enamel gets eroded completely and the dentin gets exposed. So it is this dentin which has the tubes and canals, and that it connects to the brain, and that is why when you do not have enamel, your dentin gets exposed, and because of that you get the sensitive reaction, or you feel sensitive when you take in any cold hot drinks or ice cream and so on. Fine. So it is the tubules or the canals. So I told you already, there are small tubules or canals which are present in dentin, which are responsible for the sensitivity which is caused when the enamel gets eroded. And of course, once the enamel gets eroded, it cannot be regenerated because it does not have any living cells. Next is the root canal. So the portion of the pulp cavity inside the root of the tooth is called as root canal. So here you can see this is the pulp. This region is the pulp, and that extends into the root in the form of a canal, and this region is called as the root canal. So it is the pulp itself. When it is here, we call it as pulp, and when it extends into the root, we call it as root canal. Okay, so it is a chamber within the root of the tooth, and it contains the pulp, and pulp contains blood cells, blood vessels, nerves and so on. Did you understand? This is the pulp, and the pulp extends into the root as root canal, and this is another important part of the tooth. Next is the cementum. So here this region you can see, this is the cementum. The cementum helps in embedding or fixing the teeth into the socket. Okay, so it is a hard connective tissue it covers the root of the tooth and it gives attachment of the teeth into the socket. So it is this cementum which helps the teeth to attach inside the socket. It is a hard connective tissue. Got it? So this is the cementum. So these are the four important regions of the tooth. First one is the enamel, which is the outermost hard protective covering, and then comes the dentin below that. Finally, third one is the pulp, which extends into the root as root canal, and last one is the cementum, which helps the teeth to get embedded into the socket. So now that we discussed about mouth, the different regions, the oral cavity and so on, and what are the functions, different types of teeth, tongue and all, let's discuss few questions on this topic. First, these questions have appeared in previous years, so it is very useful to go through these questions. Which of the following terms describes the human dentition? So I already told you, human teeth is diphyodont, thecodont and heterodont. So here you can see which option has all the three. It is option B, thecodont, diphyodont and heterodont. So option B is the right answer. Next, a baby boy aged 2 years is admitted to play school and passes through a dental checkup. The dentist observed that the boy had 20 teeth. So which teeth were absent? So the baby has 20 teeth, right? So 20 teeth is correct. The baby had 20 teeth. That is correct, isn't it? So adults have 32 and babies have 20. So which of the teeth were absent? So I already told you, in children they do not have premolars. So B is the right option. So this question was asked in NEET 2017. Moving on to the next question from NEET 2015. The primary definition in human differs from permanent dentition in not having one of the following type of teeth. The primary dentition in humans differs from permanent dentition. So they are asking, what is the difference between milk teeth or the deciduous teeth and the permanent teeth? Okay, I told you we have two sets of teeth, isn't it? Milk teeth and permanent teeth. So what is the difference? Which set of teeth does the milk teeth lack? So again here the answer is premolar. Fine. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following correctly represents the normal human adult dental formula? So I already told you what is the adult dental formula. It is 2123 divided by 2123. So here you can see which has that option. 2123 divided by 2123. So C is the right answer option. So with this, let's wind up this part of the lecture. We shall continue with the further discussion in the human digestive system in our upcoming lectures. You can also connect with me on social media. If you find these lectures, please subscribe to the channel. Until I meet you in the next lecture, take care, bye.